Hey guys, it's Monday. We got the Fox here yesterday like I showed you guys in the last video, and I just painted a front end. It's baking in the booth, so that's the noise that you hear. I'm always working on something. So we're gonna pull the motor today, get it painted black the way I want it, get the new valve covers on it, the new headers, throw it back in, put new gaskets in it so it's not leaking that I know of, but just new gaskets while we're in there. And then get the rack rebuilt. Gonna sand the bottom of the floor. We're gonna spray it black with POR 15. It's a very good rust protectant. The floor isn't rusty as you'll see when we sand it, but I'm just gonna do it because I want it all shiny gloss black. I ordered all tubular suspension for the rear, control arms, and then subframe connectors, and they're all red. We're gonna powder coat the sway bars red. So the floor will be black and everything will be red under there. So it should look pretty good once the stripes are on, because the stripes are orange and reddish. So let's dig into this thing and see what it looks like. All right guys, we're gonna get a before. As you can see, it has a lot of that rust protectant still on it. That's why we gotta sand it. But as for rust, yeah, the exhaust is terrible. I think we're gonna ditch that too. As for rust, there's like none. It's just, I think this is just surface. It's really clean under here. Like this is 79, so it's 40 some years old. No, 50. So, as you can see, it's pretty clean. We're gonna start stripping her down to nothing. See what we can make her look like. All right guys, probably half hour, 45 minutes in, she's ready to pull. I just gotta put her up in the air, take the starter out, unbolt the exhaust, which doesn't look like it's rusty at all, so it should come off pretty easy. And then bell housing bolts, which they're really easy to get to, and engine's out. I'm gonna pull them apart separate just because I don't have anyone else here to help me, and I don't want to pull the trans and stuff over the radiator support alone. So that's why I'm doing it this way. But yeah, pretty easy to get out. We're gonna send a lot of stuff to powder coat, paint a lot of stuff, and get it how I want. So let's see if it's worth it in the end. Well guys, we got it out. Came pretty easy. 302s are really easy to get out. Clutch looks pretty new. It's not a high performance or anything, but looks pretty new. Everything about this motor looks pretty new, to be honest. He said it's a Ford Racing complete crate engine. So pretty easy. Now we're gonna take the trans out. Like I said, I didn't do them together because I'm always by myself, so it's easier this way. Trans out, pull the rack, pull the K-member. We're pretty much stripping this thing. I'm gonna paint the floor, like I said, with POR 15, so underside looks perfect. But motor's out, that's a big step. So now we can start stripping the accessories and the headers and stuff. All right guys, I almost got this cover off. Figured that we'd do it together. He says this is a Ford crate engine, so I don't know he didn't really have much info on it. That's all he told me. So I was just, I don't know what's gonna be under here, roller rockers or just regular. Roller rockers, look at that. So it is a pretty good motor. It seems pretty stout anyway. I don't know, it doesn't have a ratio on them or anything, but it does have head studs too. So once we get the intake off too, I don't know if we can see more. Sweet. Not bad. Pretty clean in there too. Yeah, ARP head studs, roller rockers. This little Performer 289 intake, we're gonna send that to get vapor honed, so it'll look almost chrome, but it would just be bare aluminum. It'll almost look like that. So I'm gonna keep taking her apart so we can get her painted. All right guys, I got busy like usual, but I got it all cleaned up the best I can. There's still a little bit of blue, but it's not loose paint, so it shouldn't matter. I got as much as I could. Found out this is a true Ford racing motor. Doesn't have no serial number on it or VIN, whatever. And it's all really good parts. So we're gonna get this sprayed now. I always put the old spark plugs in, the old oil filter back on so I don't get overspray in there. And then I just try to stay away from the edges. I always take lacquer thinner and go around the gasket when I'm done. Because I just use this stuff. It's just spray paint, but it's for engines. We all use this. I could mix paint and do a base clear, but like I said, it's just an engine, so should look pretty good. Let's get her sprayed. Okay guys, I had to show you this. Here's the intake that I pulled off. I'm gonna have what you call vapor honed. It'll look literally better than it was brand new. So I'm doing a little before. So take a good look at it. All right guys, you've seen that I spray painted the engine. It's all black. I go a little farther with the oil pan since every time you change the oil, you're gonna get oil and stuff on it and that paint will wear out quick. So I sanded it. My buddy's gonna powder coat it for me. Probably spent longer on it than I should have. Probably didn't need to go this far, but pretty picky. So we're gonna see what it turns out like tomorrow. A few more things I decided to get powder coated while I'm doing black. Radiator holders, the throttle cable bracket, and then this holds the heater hoses on the side of the firewall. So got those all sanded. Now we're going to get black. As you can see, I'm a little deeper than what you guys thought I was going to do. But for some reason, all the rubber in this car, everything's aftermarket, so it's not very old. The guy said he built it in the 90s and didn't drive it much. But like all the rubber everywhere is just disintegrating. And you guys seen in the last video, I was worried about these bushings. So this is kind of what started it. Like this one doesn't have nothing left. Look at this one. It's just crumbles, look at that. So I don't know what causes this, but it just crumbles away. So I basically am fixing everything rubber. And while we're at it, we're just powder coating everything. So we're gonna strip the whole rear end and powder coat it, get a diff cover on there. I'm buying a new gas tank because there's a dent in it. But here's a look at the floor now with nothing in there. I gotta pressure wash it and then start de-aging it because I'm gonna paint it with that POR 15. So we have the K member left to pull, and then that's about it for being stripped. There's not much left in here. And then I'm gonna start masking the car off and start spraying it. But you guys can see how clean this car is. There's no rust like anywhere in this car. And the stuff that you see is like dust. It's not even like rust, it's weird. So this car was taken really good care of. So we're gonna keep going with it. I have a lot of stuff at powder coat and vapor honing place, sandblast place. You guys will like how this thing turns out. All right guys, got it all stripped. Gonna start sanding it, taping the car off to get this stuff sprayed. So here's a little before walkthrough. Look at that above the gas tank where they didn't spray. Still brand new. This is all that rust protectant stuff that's gonna sand off. But as you can see, there's not a speck of rust on this whole car. It's so clean. So we're gonna start sanding here like I said. I'm just gonna DA it and then hurry up and Scotch Brite the edges. I'm not gonna get too crazy with it. And start spraying it. We're just gonna throw plastic over the car, tape it to the pinch welds and then around the wheel wells, all the way over, bottom of the bumpers, and then start spraying. Obviously I gotta tape up the hole for this too, but should turn out pretty good. And like I said, we're gonna get everything powder coated, so the rear end's gotta get stripped down to nothing, cleaned, get it down to the bare housing. So stay tuned and see what it looks like. Fox project's getting serious. Not bad mail call. So I'm not sure what date I'm gonna release this video, but it's July 4th weekend. The 4th is on Monday. It's currently Friday, so you're seeing all these people going to their vacation stuff, and my type of vacation's the shop, working on my own stuff for once, because I never get to, because all my customers are needy and think that every 2 seconds of my life should be spent on customer cars. So I'm spending my 3-day weekend working on my own stuff and locking the door, shutting my phone off. All the parts came, so I'm gonna see how far I can get on this thing. So figured I'd just throw that in there. All right guys, we just got back to the shop from picking up parts. You guys seen the intake earlier. We got it back ready before the weekend, and I showed you what it looked like before. That is not spray paint, that is bare aluminum. Isn't that crazy? Here's the timing cover. So this is how far that I'm going with this car. If you're a diehard guy that watches my videos, you've probably seen the Terminator I redid. That was driver quality. This car is going car show quality. So you'll see the difference when we're done here. But we also got some mail calls that we got to open, and I got a bunch of stuff ahead of me this weekend with the car in there. I also got the oil pan back from powder coat, so that turned out amazing. And we're gonna start getting her together. Well guys, as you can see, I'm drenched. Nothing goes as planned with cars like these. But anyways, I started to sand stuff, and all I did was gum up my DA. It's like an undercoat wax. Well, I started using a lacquer thinner. As you can see how nice this floor is. This is their undercoat stuff. And this is if I use lacquer thinner. It's like brand freaking new. But anyways, said screw it, started pressure washing it again because there's just so much stuff in there. I think I'm just gonna keep the textured stuff on there now that it's completely spotless. I got all their yellow stuff off. And now I'm gonna let it dry overnight. I'm gonna blow it the best I can, blow all the crevices and stuff before I leave. And then I'm gonna let it dry overnight. And then I'm gonna come and DA a little bit from what I can and And then we were gonna get the bottom done. So another day behind, but what do you expect on a car like this when you go this far with it? So see you tomorrow. We'll be back here working on that. All right guys, I got one coat done. And I know I told you guys that I would spray it on, but I guess you brush it on, and this stuff is disgusting and it's very hard to do. It's sticky, but it's turning out pretty good. If you want to show them what it looks like so far. It dries fairly quick. This is just one coat. And I honestly thought this would take like an hour for a coat, but I've been working on this for 2.5 and I'm still not done with the first coat. So it is quite the job. And yeah, so I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. All right guys, we got one coat on the whole car. I'm gonna give it some time to dry before I do the next coat. And we pulled the motor out of the booth. So now we're gonna start putting the stuff on. Take these spark plugs out, put the nice valve covers on and stuff, and see how it looks. All right guys, finally got the floor done. I put 2 coats on it. You can see it's totally worth it. So nice. I kept the gas line hanging down. I'm gonna steel wool it so it's shiny black or chrome again to have a little accent against the floor. But as you can see, it is a mess. I put plastic down, thank God. My shoes, I wore sandals. It's dry now, but my arm got it and it peels the skin off. This stuff's called Pure 15. It's the best rust-proof stuff you can get. So I never have to worry about it again. And since I pressure washed the old stuff that's been on there its whole life, I figured I'd put this new stuff on. So I stripped the body. This is the main reason I did it. New heart for it. Same motor, but painted up how I want it. Matched the MSD in the corner of the engine bay. And all the suspension's going red like I told you guys. So she is beautiful. Everything's freaking brand new. It's gonna look awesome in there. And then we got some box openings tomorrow. They're right over here. The rear end still has to get stripped. Some box openings to show you some stuff. I'm tired and want to go home. I've been here for 6 or 7 hours today doing this. Each coat takes about an hour and a half. You don't spray it on, you brush it like I said, but you would think it'd leave brush marks, but it's actually pretty, whatever you call it, flat. So looks pretty good. It's not a like completely perfect mirror, but once you get all the suspension and trans and stuff back in, it'll look beautiful. I'm gonna order an aluminum drive shaft so I don't have to paint the original steel one. But like I said, I didn't get all their rubberized coating off, so that's mainly why it looks a little weird in spots. But I'm happy with it, and once we get everything back in, I think you guys will be very pleased with what it looks like. All right guys, as promised, we're gonna do a couple box openings. It's the next day, the floor is dry on that, so we're gonna start putting stuff back on the car that's ready to go back on. Stuff that doesn't need to be powder coated or painted or cleaned. First box. First box is the most boring thing that I bought. CD player for it. So I kind of wanted to keep the cassette player in there, which I still might. I don't know. I bought this because this was in my high school car when I was younger. I kind of got sentimental. I don't know. I found it on eBay, so I bought it just because I wanted the same one in it. So I bought it for the pace car, but I might put it in my high school car when I get that far with it. So that's the first one. Next one is all the new pulleys and the front drive system for the engine that we just built. So we'll get rid of all that ugly tensioner and stuff. This has a tensioner that bolts the water pump. It's the whole kit, all the pulleys with the brackets. So that'll look really good on there. So I'm not gonna take any more out. You guys know what it looks like probably. So that's the next one. Now for the big box. One that I actually need open right now because I'm gonna install them. Packages. Jeez. Subframe connectors. So like I told you guys, doing everything, the floor is gloss black, and then I'm going to do a lot of stuff in this powder coated red. I think it'll look good. So that's what these are. And then also in here, control arms in red also. So let's get these installed. Can't wait to see the red against the black. It'll look good. I think all this stuff will look really cool once the stripes are on the car because they're orange and red. So let's get to installing this stuff. All right guys, another day down. I have these just hanging here. I just wanted to see what they look like. I told you I was doing red. Spent a little over 2 hours polishing the gas lines. So they're all silver. A little contrast against the black. So it's coming along. Got all that done, and I got the fuel filler neck back in, which the gas source back on. Pretty much it for the day. Everything takes a lot of time when you do it like this. Got this thing hung back up where it goes, and like I said, it's coming along. It takes a lot of time when you do everything so whatever detailed. So now we're gonna wait on more parts, bring the trans over to my buddy to get it stripped down so we can vapor hone it and keep going. All right guys, next step. I don't know where I left off. It's been a long 4th of July weekend. I was here, we did a lot with friends, and now I'm back on the project, plus a lot of work that I took on that I shouldn't have, but dropping these off to my buddy Dan. he doesn't know about the rack yet, but he's rebuilt them before. I've seen on his Snapchat. So I'm gonna talk him into that. He's gonna strip the T5 so we can vapor hone the case like I was saying. So we're about to drive there, drop these off. And then after he strips them, we're gonna bring them all to my buddy to clean all the aluminum pieces. The steel pieces, I think I'm gonna have powder coated. I'm not sure if you can, being it's a rack. We might just spray paint them, I'm not sure. But let's bring these over to him and get them stripped. All right guys, next part, rear end. I bought an 8/8 diff cover. I'm gonna cut the quad shock brackets off, both sides. I'm gonna have somebody brace the bottom, even though it doesn't need it. I think it looks cool. So, and I think we're gonna weld the tubes also. And then after that, sandblast, powder coat, gloss black. And I ordered the 5-lug conversion for the wheels that we went with, which you'll see at the end of the video. And should look pretty good. So I'm gonna dig into this now and drain the fluids and strip her down. All right guys, we got the stickers for the pace car today in the mail. I haven't opened them yet. Figured I'd wait for you guys to see it with me. These are OEM Ford. I don't think you can get them from them no more, so it's kind of cool. Probably shouldn't be razor blading it all the way down, but we are. That's pretty neat. Man, that's pretty cool. So old. 79. She on everything that's here, I think. And here they all are. As you can see, they're all Ford with the part number. And it has the where it lays, so you know exactly where to put it. So we finally got the stickers. Now I think I'm gonna leave these ones in the box and tape it back up and just keep them since they're OEM. I think I'm gonna buy the reproductions. I figured I'd open that with you guys so you can kind of see. You can see like where the cutout is to know exactly where it goes. See that? So that's pretty cool. But back to all the new parts. Had to open that with you guys. I thought it was pretty neat. Alright guys, I'm laying here editing this video and I really wanted to do the whole car in one video, but after editing it, it's already at 28 minutes. Plus I'm gonna enter this, so I don't think I can keep you guys' attention for more than a half an hour per video. So we're just gonna end the video here. I know it's kind of abruptly, but there's a lot left. I'm going farther with the car every day, so there's a lot left. So this build's gonna be 2 or 3 videos long. I'm gonna try to do it in 2, but I don't wanna miss too much. So sorry, but we're gonna just stop this thing abruptly. And next video will show a lot more of the depth I'm getting into and how many parts we bought. And since I bought so many new parts, a lot are on back order, which sucks. So I've been calling companies to see who actually carries it in hand. Since this world is all about greed, people sell stuff on their website that says in stock, and then you buy it, and then they email you a day or 2 later and say they don't have it, and they don't know when they're gonna get it. Those companies can just screw off. Like when somebody does that to me, a company, I literally write it on a notepad and I will never order a part from there again. So take notes for your vendor. So we're gonna end this video here. Next week, I try to upload every Thursday. You'll see the car in a whole different, like together. It's starting to come together. So stay tuned. It's gonna get better, but we're gonna build one clean pace car here. So let me know in the comments what you think so far, and if you've ever put reproduction stickers on, let me know if they're worth it, because I haven't ordered them yet and I don't know which company to buy from yet. So let me know in the comments what you think and where to order. So I'll see you on the next one.